Was the Great Pyramid of Giza an interstellar navigator from the last ice age? The missing mummies and stones that stare at the stars? When you think of the pyramids, the very first word that pops into anyone's mind is tomb. Yet, there is a highly counterintuitive fact that is rarely known by the general public. Not a single mummy has ever been discovered inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu. There are no murals of pharaohs, nor are there any funerary offerings. Inside the deepest chamber, the king's chamber, there sits only a lidless, completely empty stone sarcophagus. If it wasn't a tomb, then what was the purpose of this ultimate engineering feat, pieced together from 2+3 million stone blocks weighing a combined total of over 6 million tons? It wasn't until the second half of the 20th century, when astronomers and aerospace engineers shifted their gaze from the ground to the heavens, that they made a shocking discovery. The pyramid was never built to bury the dead. It is a highly sophisticated interstellar navigator, flawlessly aligned with cosmic coordinates. Today, we will take you back to the Giza Plateau, tossing aside the outdated theories of tens of thousands of slaves dragging rocks. We will use modern astronomical supercomputers to rewind Earth's night sky. Let's look at where the mysterious soul shafts inside the pyramid actually point, why the alignment of these three pyramids uncannily mirrors Orion's belt, and what silent signals they have been broadcasting to a higher dimensional civilization that existed over 10,000 years ago. Mirror of the Earth, the mind-boggling alignment with Orion's belt. In 1983, Robert Bovell, a Belgian civil engineer, was gazing up at the stars from a sand dune in Saudi Arabia when he stumbled upon a secret that sent chills down his spine. As he studied Orion, the most famous constellation in the night sky, he noticed that the three stars making up its belt did not form a perfectly straight line. The smallest and dimmest of the three, Mintaka, deviated slightly from the axis. While this is a highly ordinary astronomical phenomenon, Bovell's engineering mind suddenly connected the dots. The spatial layout of the three Great Pyramids on the Giza Plateau matched this stellar offset with absolute, flawless precision. The two largest pyramids align perfectly, while the smallest, the Pyramid of Menkaure, deviates slightly to the east at the exact same angle. This is absolutely no coincidence. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Orion represents Osiris, the lord of the underworld and god of resurrection. Meanwhile, the Nile River, which flows past the Giza Plateau, was viewed by the ancient Egyptians as the earthly reflection of the radiant Milky Way. Therefore, the three pyramids were built on the west bank of the Nile, precisely mirroring how the stars of Orion's belt sit on the edge of the Milky Way. Hardcore astronomy, the mystery of precession. However, when Bovell used computers to simulate the night sky of 2500 BC, the era Orthodox historians claimed the pyramids were built, he encountered a fatal loophole. While the layout was identical, the angle of the pyramids did not align perfectly parallel to Orion in the night sky of that specific era, because of a highly sluggish wobble in Earth's rotational axis, known in astronomy as axial precession, which runs on a cycle of roughly 26,000 years. The positions of the stars in the night sky shift minutely over time. Determined to find the truth, Bovell frantically rewound the cosmic clock on his computer. Finally, at 10,500 BC, more than 12,000 years ago, a miracle manifested. In that specific era, as the star Sirius rose in the sky, Orion reached its lowest point in its 26,000-year precessional cycle. At that exact moment, the three pyramids on the Giza Plateau formed a flawless, zero margin of error alignment with Orion's belt. Could this imply that the original blueprints of the pyramids were left behind over 10,000 years ago by an advanced civilization? Perhaps Atlantis, which we discussed in previous episodes? Cannons of the soul, flawless alignment with Sirius and Draco. If you think the bird's-eye view theory of Orion still leaves room for speculation, the agonizingly precise shafts hidden inside the pyramid elevate this from metaphysics to hardcore physics. For a long time, archaeologists assumed that the two narrow shafts cutting through the walls of the king's chamber were merely ventilation flues for the builders. However, it was later discovered that these shafts are far too narrow, and, because they were completely sealed by stone blocks on the inside, ventilation would have been impossible. Even more damningly, the shafts in the queen's chamber didn't even breach the inner walls. They remained hidden behind solid granite several inches thick. When astronomers aligned these aggressively angled shafts with cosmic coordinates, they revealed a degree of precision that leaves humanity dumbfounded. The south shaft of the king's chamber points flawlessly to Orion's belt, Osiris, representing the place where the king's soul achieves resurrection. The north shaft of the king's chamber points flawlessly to Thuban in the constellation Draco, the north star of that era, representing eternal immortality. The south shaft of the Queen's Chamber points flawlessly to Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky and symbol of Isis, the goddess of magic and bringer of life. The north shaft of the Queen's Chamber points flawlessly to Kochab and Ursa Minor, representing the center of the cosmos. These shafts were never built for ventilation. They are highly precise soul-launching cannons. In the worldview of the ancient Egyptians, the pyramid was an energy machine linking a three-dimensional physical body to a higher-dimensional cosmos. Once the pharaoh's soul detached from the physical vessel inside the stone sarcophagus, it had to travel along these mathematically perfect trajectories, piercing through the interstellar mists to be precisely launched toward Orion and Sirius, completing its convergence with the gods. This isn't mere superstition. It is interstellar geometry built upon a brutally complex foundation of astronomical data. Scars on the Sphinx, water erosion on the ancient Guardian. Since the pyramid's cosmic coordinates lock firmly onto 10,500 BC, is there any other evidence on the plateau proving a highly advanced civilization existed here over 10,000 years ago? The answer is etched directly onto the body of the Great Sphinx. In the 1990s, Robert Schoch, a professor of geology at Boston University and a highly rigorous rock expert, traveled to the Giza Plateau. Taking one look at the erosion patterns on the body of the Sphinx, he immediately reached a conclusion that infuriated Egyptologists worldwide. These deep, rounded, vertical fissures could absolutely not have been carved out by wind and sand. They are the textbook results of thousands of years of continuous torrential rainfall and water runoff. The problem? The Giza Plateau has been a hyper-arid desert for the past 5,000 years, completely devoid of heavy downpours. To find a climate capable of carving such deep grooves into solid stone, you have to wind the clock back to the end of the last ice age, between 10,000 and 12,000 years ago. This time frame, with eerie synchronization, perfectly matches Boval's Orion alignment date of 10,500 BC. Even more breathtaking, on the vernal equinox of 10,500 BC, as the sun rose directly in the east, the deep gaze of the Sphinx was locked onto the eastern horizon exactly as the constellation Leo the Lion rose into the sky. This was never the tomb of a pharaoh. It is a monument of time, an epical badge carved into the earth by a highly advanced human civilization 10,000 years ago. In 2017, scientists utilized muon radiography, a technology that uses cosmic rays to penetrate solid matter, to scan the Great Pyramid. Right at the center, they discovered a massive, aircraft-sized unknown void. What exactly is hidden inside?